Welcome back to Phasmophobia. I finished up my professional run last time. This time I guess I'll go with some zero evidence, but with sanity. I already have a custom set up for that.
Looks like there are others out there in need of help.
I have about a 7 times multiplier. So I start with sanity, low sanity pill restoration. Everything is medium. No evidence will be given. Random weather. Low hiding places, but 1 cursed possession. So let's start with Tanglewood. And this is my equipment. Still using the glow stick and tier 2 crucifixes in case I need to test for non-real. Because tier 3 is a bit trickier because they have such a huge radius. I like to put the tier 2 crucifix around some candles and watch for the ghost to blow them out. And if it burns a crucifix instead, then I know it's not a non-real.
We've arrived. Check the equipment and get set up before investigating. The ghost here seems to be linked to a cursed object. Go and take a closer look. Maybe using it will help your investigation.
The tier 3 crucifix would allow the ghost to burn the crucifix out of range of the candles. So that's why tier 2 is better for 0 evidence. Okay, so I have to escape and repel and do a motion sensor. Don't know where the power is. Let's get that turned on. I do have sanity, so I'm going to do what I can to preserve it. It's downstairs. And there is a cursed possession somewhere. And a bone. I should look for that too. Voodoo doll. I could use the voodoo doll to figure out where the ghost is, but it's such a small house. It's not such a big deal. There's the bone. Just heard something. Where's my EMF? Didn't I bring an EMF in? I guess not. Well, it's very clearly in here. Alright, so since we're on 0 evidence, the first tests are going to be for Mimic, Wraith. So let's get those out of the way, and I'll get ready with Onryo tests too. If it's a ghost orb, then I know it's a Mimic because it's 0 evidence, and Mimic always gives off a ghost orb. What is... Oh, I wasn't aware that it was such a big mirror. Okay, so I'm not seeing any ghost orb. Hasn't stepped through the salt yet, so that's already suspicious. Let's lay down some motion sensors, make sure I know where the ghost is. still in there. So if it hasn't turned off the power, if it still hasn't stepped in any salt, then I'm pretty sure we're dealing with a wraith. I would say we're dealing with a wraith. Okay, let me get the power back on. I'm going to put the salt down in a few more places, just to be sure. And then we're going to try a little experiment with the wraith. Okay, let's prove that this is a wraith. I'm going to grab another EMF and another motion sensor. And I'm just going to go to the kitchen. Oh, so it's not a wraith. Okay. Alright, fine. Good, then we can continue with our Onryo test. Come on. No. This is so stupid. Come on, VR. Make some sense. I don't really have a hunger for coming up with a VR methodology that improves on what Phasmophobia does, but at some point I would certainly like to demonstrate that a VR methodology handling objects like this with a utility belt can actually work instead of being so fiddly. There's two. And if it blows out the third one, it should eat the crucifix if it's an Onryo. Taking its time. I could go out and get a camera and take pictures of interactions, but I don't want to miss the third candle blowout because if I'm not in the house, it won't burn a crucifix. There we go. And no crucifix burn, so it is not an Onryo. Let's See if it's a stalker. So it's not a wraith, it's not a mimic, it's not an Onryo. When my sanity gets down to 55%, I can test for a high hunter. I hear it beeping. Doesn't seem to be coming to me, though. So I'm going to guess that it is not a Phantom or a Banshee. I really should, one of these times, if I'm in professional and I get a Phantom, I should check to see how it wanders to me. Because I know a Banshee will do it fairly often, although I have had some Banshees not do it at all in a few minutes' time, so I ended up guessing wrong. But a Phantom, at least in my experience, doesn't seem to do it as often. But for now, I'm going to say this is not a Banshee or a Phantom. Okay. Hasn't even tried to leave the room. Could be dealing with a Goryo. Goryos can still leave their room, they just don't choose a different favorite one. Okay. Should I test for a high hunter? Is there anything else that I can check for? How about Poltergeist? It's kind of pointless for me to... Shit. What the hell? It's kind of pointless for me to, drop my smudge from my belt when I can't carry extra items. Did it turn on a light switch? Or did it turn off a light switch? Well, it turned that one on, so it's definitely not a mare. Oh shit, I just blew the fuse. That's neat, you can hear all of the light switches go out. The reason why I want the lights on in the room is because I've heard that a poltergeist is the only ghost that can actually throw items when the lights are on. But I don't know how true that is. I thought there were shoes here, but I couldn't see them. I don't have eye adaptation turned on because VR doesn't support it. Otherwise, I would probably be able to see better underneath that table. Whoops. This ought to be good enough. It's probably not a poltergeist, but you never know. How about if I lay a path in the garage? because a hunt will be inevitable. I'm going to plan for one. I need to be careful on my sanity total. Okay. Not looking very tossy. Where are we at sanity-wise? I'm at 60. So, if I hit the voodoo doll once, it'll put me at 55. And then we can see what's going on hunt-wise. Hopefully I don't get the heart pin. There we go. Good. Alright, so that puts me at 55. And I'll give it a minute. If nothing happens, I'll hit it again. Granted, if it's a mare, it won't be able to hunt because the light's on. Mares can't hunt until 40%. If the light's off, it can hunt at 60%. Then again, if the light was on, the mare would be spending more time outside of the room because mares don't like lights being on. And I'm not hearing anything happen. So I'm guessing this is not a high hunter. Certainly not a fae or a raiju. Okay. Well, let's make this thing hunt. Here we go. I'm going to say it's not a mare. Oh, we already know it's not a mare because it turned on a light. I should have known that. So what's going on? Do we need to hit it one more time? Could be a 51% sanity. Fine. I'll risk hitting it one more time and put myself down to 45. If it doesn't hunt now, then it's either a shade or a Diogen. It's moving around now. Okay. So are we dealing with the shade or a Diogen? It's not a djinn, since it turned off the power. Alright, so I'm pretty sure my sanity is at 45 right now. It still hasn't hunted. So that tells me it's either a shade or a Deogen, because those are the only two ghosts that hunt low. So let's trigger a hunt and see what happens. Two more. Shit. So, shade? I'm guessing shade? Actually, I should let it hunt one more time because I gotta get the cleanse and repel out of it. If it is a shade, it's not going to hunt. A ghost! Okay, I'm gonna guess that it's shade, because that's really all I have to go on right now. This didn't hunt any higher than... It didn't hunt at 42. Didn't do anything. Yeah, and I'm at 28 now. So let's say it's a shade. I'm gonna get the rest of my photos. I got the bone. So let's raise my sanity up. And if I'm wrong, it means the ghost didn't hunt when it was supposed to. Now I could theoretically have kept my sanity low and gone somewhere. Well, okay, so it's not even in its room anymore. If it was still in the bedroom, I could have dumped a couple crucifixes in there and see if it tried to hunt with me in there. And if it did, then I could have proven that it's not a shade, because shades aren't supposed to hunt in the same room as you. Although I have heard that they are broken right now, and they might not behave that way. But I'm going to go with shade, and I don't think I could have done any better of an investigation than this. It was a shade.
Welcome back. I've prepared some jobs for you.
3,000 for that, and that took 25 minutes. Alright, so let's move on to Willow. These zero evidences take longer because you gotta spend time figuring out what the ghost is instead of just collecting evidence.
Alright, we're here. Take a look at the equipment and prepare accordingly before starting the investigation. We've had no reports of violence, but keep an eye out.
Photo of the ghost. Candle and cleanse. No bone or cursed object in here. No bone in here. Power's downstairs. Ouija board. Could come in handy. Grab the bone now while I'm at it. Ambient temperature in the house is 10 degrees. Doubtful that it's down here anywhere. I think I heard a sound over here. Indeed. Haven't found the cursed object yet. Oh no, I did. Ouija board. And then I found the bone. So we're good there. Got the power on and I know where the ghost room is. Okay, same 3 tests. Gonna test for Wraith, Mimic, and Onryo. Do you mind? Oh, that's rude. Wait a minute, it's in here. Never mind. I see no ghost orb. Turned off the power, did you? So we know it's not a djinn, and we know it's not a mimic, so far. Djinns never turn off the power. Mimics always give a ghost orb. Candles. And a crucifix. Okay, it's not a wraith, it's dipped in salt. Smudge, and a motion sensor to see if it comes to visit me. What? It's in here? Seriously? Well, that's suspicious. There's only 3 stalker ghosts. The wraith, which teleports to you, but they don't step in salt, so they can't be a wraith. The phantom will randomly wander to you, even if you're on a different floor. And a banshee will wander to you fairly often if you're on the same floor. I think I lit all 3. Hi there. Would have been useful to have a camera at that moment. If you take a picture of a ghost and it just disappears, it's definitely a phantom. Okay, it's not a mare. Mares never turn on lights. There's 1, 2. Wait, it's throwing stuff, but there's a light on in the room? Does that mean that it's a poltergeist? If it's throwing objects in the room with a light on, but it's not a poltergeist, then what that streamer said is not true. Just gonna give it stuff to do. Okay, there. Okay, it's not in. Where are you now? Okay, so another case where I would love to have a camera. Sanity is still fine. Do another ghost event on me. I know it's not an Onryo. It didn't hunt after blowing out the last candle. Just watching for it to wander to me again. Doesn't seem to want to. But it was in the living room at one point, which makes me really suspicious. And you turned off. I just want to get a visible ghost event. I can't trigger one with the Ouija board. Jeez. That was a hell of a throw. You really hate that book, don't you? Where'd it go? Knocking on windows. Okay, it's not a phantom. Not a phantom. Jeez, oh Pete's. Certainly loving all these ghost effects, though. I don't think it's a banshee. It hasn't been wandering to me. It's doing a lot of singing events, though. I didn't want it to touch me. I didn't want it to drain my sanity anymore. I want to have a controlled sanity drain. Jeez, that was loud. Okay, I'm at 65, so I will ask 2 questions on the Ouija board and see if I get a hunt. How old are you? How old are you? Goodbye. Did it turn off the power again? I have to do this quick. My sanity's 55. I don't want it to drop to 50. And I'm going to double check my sanity value. Yeah. Geez, just barely. Okay. So as long as the lights stay on, I should be good to test. Oh, that stinks. Wait a minute. This is not a picture of the ghost? That's BS. I'm not even going to try then. That is BS. That is a very clear picture of the ghost. It's right there. How close do you have to be to the ghost to get a photo of it? Alright. This is not striking me as a high hunter. So it's not a Fae, it's not a Raiju. It's not a demon. How old are you? Goodbye? I think I'm done with photos, actually. What is... So to smudge it and get a photo. So my sanity's 45 and it's still not hunting? It's not even trying? So is it another Diogen or a shade? Okay. Okay, so it's smudged now. It's been 40 seconds. $80. $90. Can hunt now. Let's see if I can hear it. Yes. Okay, it's not a myling because I could hear its footsteps outside of the range of my flashlight flickering. There is a slight 1 meter buffer where that can still happen, but generally it's a fair rule. Okay, it's not an Oni. Onis can't do that. I didn't think it would catch up to me. Okay, so did it throw everything? Didn't throw absolutely everything. So I don't know if it's a poltergeist. So what else can I test for? It's not a spirit. Hunted too soon. I don't think it's a poltergeist. It's not a myling. It's not fast enough to be a Moroi. Can't be an Oni because it did an airball. Could be dealing with a yokai. There's a possibility. I've had a yokai chase me around the vehicle, and with my flashlight on, and it actually turned around and left the garage. That might be worth doing. So you're in here. You're in here now, huh? Turned off the power. Crap. Hi there. Airball? I'm gonna wait for this hunt to end. Can't be a Gorio because it changed rooms. It left the room. It left the room. It's a yokai. That's funny. Okay, let's retreat. I had my flashlight on the whole time, and it turned around and left the garage while I was looping it. So yeah, that is a yokai. Can't be a Goryo, so it's between these two. I left the garage, so I'm going to say it's a yokai. Let's up my sanity so I can get... Wait a minute, I'm done with photos. I don't need those anymore, and I don't care about getting a photo. Because I got a photo, and it didn't even register. So, I'm done with that. Okay, let's get out of here. Yokai. There we go.
Back. I've prepared some jobs for you.
If it wasn't a yokai, it would have continued looping me around the vehicle because it would have sensed me from the flashlight. But yokais can only sense a flashlight within 2.5 meters. So, I mean, even while looping on the narrow side of the vehicle, it can still get blinded and leave. So, that's how that works. Okay, so that's going to finish off those 2 maps for Zero Sanity. I'll continue with Edgefield and Ridgefield. I'm not going to do Camp Woodland. I don't enjoy doing the campgrounds with Zero Sanity, or rather, Zero Evidence. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.